often get asked a lot by a lot of my friends how I actually afford to travel as much as I do. Obviously at the minute I'm not able to travel anywhere, but I thought I'd just sit down and talk about some of the ways that I can afford to travel, all the different things that I do that gives me some extra money or saves me some extra money along the way. So I've written them all down on a list, so if I look down, I'm looking at the list. Okay, so I'm going to start with how I decide where to go and how I decide when to go. So I literally just go on Skyscanner, put in from the UK. I don't put in a certain area from the UK, I don't put in London, I don't put in Bristol, I don't put in Birmingham, I just put in the UK and then everywhere. And if there's a certain month that I'm free, then I'll click the month. If it's a certain month I want to go, I'll click that month. Certain dates, I'll put in the dates. But usually I'll just put whole month, cheapest month. But first, before I get on to Skyscanner's website, I will turn my browser into private browser on my phone, or incognito on my laptop, if that's what it's still called. And then I'll go onto the Skyscanner website. I won't use the app, because I find the website gives better results. And then I'll just put in UK, everywhere, cheapest month. Look what comes up. I'll scroll through a couple of places, see if there's somewhere that's really cheap that's not usually that cheap. And sometimes there'll be return flights to somewhere for £12. So I'll have a look at that, see if I'm able to do that. I'll have a look at the flights and then I'll go on booking.com on the app and I'll just put in wherever it is that I'm going. Usually I'll just put it on low to high prices just so I can have a look, see what pops up. Because I use booking.com so much, I am a Genius level 2, so I get extra discounts, which is really helpful, and they occasionally send gift vouchers. So about a year ago? Yeah, probably almost a year ago, they sent me a £25 voucher. So I just looked at where I could go, and there was flights to Prague for £25–30, and there was a hostel in Prague for £25. So I booked the hostel with my voucher, and then I booked the flights. So the flights and accommodation only cost me £25, and I went, and I spent less than £100 on that whole holiday, including transport to my hostel, because I just used public transport, which is something I'll get into in a minute, and spending money in Prague because it's so cheap. And I also went to Hard Rock Cafe while I was there, so for less than £100, 5 days in Prague, because of using Skyscanner and booking.com, which is a massive plus to me because I've always wanted to go to Prague and it's never been that cheap before. So the next I'm going to talk about some flights. When a flight comes up on Skyscanner, I always look at that airline's app or website just to see if it's any cheaper or more expensive on either the Apple website. For example, with EasyJet, it will say it's £80 on Skyscanner for a return, and it'll be the same on the website, and then I'll look on the app and it'll be £50 for the same flights. So then I'll book it through the app rather than Skyscanner, because that's saving me an extra £30. I'm also subscribed to Jack's Flight Club. I don't pay for the premium subscription, I just have the standard subscription, so I get an email every few days to say there are flights for £20 return to £40 return from the UK to Barcelona I got this afternoon. And I've also used the emails that I've got from them to book my flights to New York, which I went to in February, and it's £200 and something for return flights to New York because I got the notification from Jack's Flight Club. So that saved me a decent chunk of money there. And I got to go back to New York, which was amazing. Yeah, I also stay as flexible as I possibly can. So it doesn't matter to me what day I go, and it's always cheaper when it's off-peak season, which is great for me because I work in hospitality, so it's always much quieter. It's easier for me to get off work when it's off-peak compared to in the middle of the summer holidays when it's busy in work. and everything is so much more expensive. So some people that's not something you can do, but if it's something you can do, then definitely do it. Everywhere's nowhere near as crowded. You get so much more time to look around places rather than being rushed and not being able to see anything, so it's so packed with other people. So I do recommend going there, and the only downside to that is sometimes some things are closed, which is a bit of a bummer, or they don't open yet because it's so quiet. But just have a look as to what your destination's like before you book your flights and accommodation. I also tend to book my accommodation on free cancellation if I haven't booked anything else yet, which I highly recommend to do, because you can always book something that has free cancellation and then look when you know you're going to see if there's anything cheaper, and then cancel that one and book the cheaper one, and you know you've still got accommodation just in case there isn't anything cheaper then, which is something I love doing. When I am wherever I'm visiting, I always try to use public transport as much as I can rather than getting a taxi. Obviously, I don't want to get public transport when I can walk somewhere. I'll just walk. It's free and it burns calories, so it's kind of a win-win. When I was in Prague, I walked everywhere apart from to and from the airport, which it was great. It cost me nothing. I got to see so much more, because you see all these little places that you wouldn't have seen if you were like on the train, for example. I just use Google Maps to do that, so while I'm at my accommodation, because there's normally Wi-Fi there, I'll get my route up, start my route, turn my data off if I have it on to save battery, and then the route will still carry on going with your data off, so it saves battery on your phone and you know where you're going, and you just look at your phone if you want to look at it, or you put your earphones in so that you can have your phone like hidden away so people can't see that you're on your phone and try and steal it from you, because you can have the directions being spoken to you through your earphones. I love doing that. It's a great way to be discreet about being a tourist as well. Sometimes it makes you look like you're a local listening to music. Yeah, when I'm flying, I don't book specific seats. I don't book priority. I just go with what I'm given. It doesn't matter to me where I sit. I prefer sitting in a window seat, and the majority of the time I get a window seat. But if I don't, I don't. It's not the end of the world. It's still a seat on the plane going on holiday. I also look at the luggage allowance that I get, because I know all airlines are different, especially for me when I fly with Ryanair, EasyJet, and then long haul flights. You usually get your luggage, hold luggage included in long haul flights, which is great. And then EasyJet, you can have a cabin bag, or Ryanair, you have to pay for your cabin bag. So I just have a look at what the sizes are. So on Ryanair, I'm not going to pay to have my backpack and my proper cabin bag, so I just pack everything into a backpack. I can get the same amount of stuff in, it's just a bit tighter, and just carry that. I don't need a proper cabin bag if I have to pay an extra £10 for it each way, because then that sometimes is more than the cost of the flight, so I don't do that. And then with EasyJet, it's just a cabin bag and no backpack, so I'll just keep everything I need in either a belt bag or in my pocket or somewhere close to me, and then just have my hard cabin bag with me as well. Yes, I also Google about currency before I go. I see if it's cheaper to get my currency in the UK or when I get to my destination. There are often a lot of blogs about it and things like that that you can use to work it out. Oftentimes it's cheaper to get it in your destination country, but it's also occasionally cheaper to get it in the UK, so I try to get a little bit at the airport just in case, and then I can use my card if I really need to. My card has no fees on spending abroad, which makes it perfect because I love using my card when I'm abroad. It's just, you don't have to take cash, you don't have to worry about the cash. And a lot of countries prefer card to cash anyway. But yeah, I always look at the best way, whether it's getting my currency in my destination country, getting it before I leave, or just using card. I also don't really spend money on much else other than travelling. I'll occasionally treat myself to a few things, but I don't go out drinking much because I just don't enjoy it that much anymore. I used to, but it's a bit boring now. I don't upgrade my phone every time a new one comes out. I just don't spend much money on anything. I'd rather keep all the money back that I would be spending on things to travel and explore new places. So yeah, that's just most of the ways that I can afford to travel so much. Like, I'm lucky to have a flexible job where I can go off peak. I don't spend money on things that I don't need to spend money on, like booking my seat, taking extra luggage if I'm not going to need it, and stuff like that. I look to save money wherever I can, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll put some links to my favourite apps and stuff for travel in the description. And yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment to let me know, and subscribe.